I was essentially waiting to be chosen. Whenever he had some free time, that was when I would drop everything and be at his beck and call and be right there. When things finally came to an end and there finally seemed to be no return and that this relationship was truly a loss, I remember sending my friends a group chat text message where I was basically like, I just don't deserve love. And maybe I'm somebody who just isn't good enough to be in a relationship. I know this sounds cliche. My self-love and self-growth, self-care journey all began because of a really bad breakup. I had come to realize that I needed to stop putting so much weight on whether or not I was loved or accepted by someone else before I even considered whether or not I loved myself deeply enough in the first place. It was at a time where I was completely lost, not just in the relationship, but in life in general. I felt like I was living fast, living reckless, doing the most always. I mean, that's what your 20s are for, so I don't regret it. But I do feel the breakup just ended up being a catalyst for me to essentially get my shit together. My self-esteem was the lowest it's ever been because I was dating this guy and I was essentially chasing him around town. He didn't want anything to do with me aside from when it came to being in the bedroom at night. He was more preoccupied with being out and about, mixy with all of his friends. Our relationship took a back seat. And me being young, naive, having daddy issues, being the type of person I was who needed that gratification and validation from outside sources would chase him around town. He was at a day party on Saturday. I made sure that me and my girls were at that day party. I was essentially waiting to be chosen. Whenever he had some free time, that was when I would drop everything and be at his beck and call and be right there. When things finally came to an end and there finally seemed to be no return and that this relationship was truly a loss, I remember sending my friends a group chat text message where I was basically like, I just don't deserve love. And maybe I'm somebody who just isn't good enough to be in a relationship, like something just ridiculous. And one of my girlfriends, she hit me up on the side, my girlfriend Chance. She was like, are you okay? Because I'm really worried about you. Some of the things that you said scared me. You are so much better than that. And you love yourself so much more than what you said. And I remember hearing her say that. And unfortunately, it was another moment where somebody else validated me. And I was like, ta-da! And I was like, she's right. I can't be out here just like allowing someone else to put my self-esteem and my self-worth in the trash can. I remember agonizing and being in my bed for days and just being like, oh, this relationship is over. I'm never going to find love. And just also feeling just down about all of my situations, just like work, money, the fact that I was going out every single night and getting drunk and wasted and doing the most. And I was like, I have to find a way to love myself more deeply. And that was the moment that I decided to break upward and use this breakup as a catalyst and as my rocket ship to finding myself again and loving myself again. And not just loving myself, but being so unshakable about how I treat myself. I don't really know where to begin, but I knew that this wasn't going to be a journey that was short. I knew that what I was about to dive into was a journey that was going to be with me for the rest of my life. So I started trying to make some changes. And I'm not going to say that all of a sudden I became so self-actualized and within a year's time or 6 months' time. It would take years for me to get to a point in which I have truly made some changes, made some sacrifices, and become the woman that I've always dreamt of. I'm still a work in progress today. I do feel that sometimes there is a pivotal moment in our lives, whether it's a breakup, whether it's being laid off from a job, whether it is being completely broke down and out and just feeling like you have nothing left to give, and that you're so low that the only place you can go is up. Those moments are so special, especially when you look back at them, because in the moment you're like, oh, hell no. How are we going to get out of this? I definitely think, and this was 2016. This was towards the end of 2016, which for those of us who, y'all millennials, those of us who are 35 plus, we know how epic summer 2016 was. And I think a lot of us decided to change our lives. I actually started dating my now husband, David, not too long after this breakup. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. And he too had such a fun 2016 that when we first met, he was actually taking a break from drinking at the time because it was just so much. It was turned. We were living our lives. But, again, I don't regret any of it. At that time, I told myself that I was really going to just focus on myself. I was going to focus on my well-being, mentally, spiritually, physically, to an extent. And I think so many things started to line up for me. So many things that I needed to come to terms with started to fall into place. A few months before the breakup, there was an entire whole family situation on a big family vacation that I had went on. And my stepdad, who was a decent father throughout my upbringing, but he was a horrible, habitual cheater and liar in his relationship with my mom. And they had since been estranged and no longer together, but she invited him on the family vacation because he's my brother's dad. And so he was there, something happened. And I remember that was a time where I decided to just cut him off and end things with him. But before I did, I remember sitting in the airport and telling him in tears, because of him and the way that he maneuvered in the relationship with my mom, it took such a big toll on me. It took a toll on me in my romantic relationships. It took a toll on me in terms of my self-esteem. It took a toll on me in terms of my relationship with my mom. And I just expressed all of these things that had been bottled up inside of me. And I finally was able to just get some freedom and to let go of some things that I had been holding on to for a really long time. That was, I guess, that was the first breakup, because I broke up with him, my stepdad. Then I broke up with my ex. Then I broke up with treating myself like I wasn't the most important and most prized possession in my life. It was like a trifecta that happened. I was able to just really sink my teeth into getting to know Aisha a lot deeper, doing my best to try to rediscover me and what I wanted out of life. And I think that was the gateway to me being able to find the love of my life, which happened not too long after I had broken up with my ex. And so I remember being like, damn, should I even date right now? Because I'm trying to work on myself. I'm trying to figure things out. And I feel like society and a lot of the advice that's given to us is work on yourself first before you dive into another relationship. And I definitely feel that that's true to a certain extent. But I also feel that there is space for you to work on yourself and to also work on nurturing a new relationship and creating a whole new life. And I think because I opened myself up to this new love, doing it on my terms made things a lot more different. This is the time where I also really started to sink my teeth into developing my own platform and my blog and sharing beauty tips online. I remember feeling so fulfilled doing something for me. And I remember when David and I first started dating, and I was sharing with him, this blog that I had, this hobby, and talking to him so passionately about it because it was just something that was for me. I went into that new relationship with a greater sense of self because I, one, had this thing for me that I was working on. Two, I was working on myself. And three, I didn't allow, although David and I fell for each other really fast, I didn't allow that relationship to sway me from what was most important. And that was becoming closer and more deeply in love with me first and foremost. That has been such a great foundation for our relationship as a whole, for my life as a whole since then. Because one, I was able to level set with him. I think he respected the fact that I was treating myself with love and care. And he, in turn, was treating me with love and care. I think we can't change anyone but ourselves. When someone sees how you move and how you don't play about yourself, that helps them to understand how to treat you and lets them know without you having to say it or drill it down their throats 50,000 times, they can't play with you either. I love that he knows that I take my time to do my deep breathing and my journaling and my reading and, try to meditate. And I listen to a bunch of podcasts and read, self-help books and things. And he doesn't judge me for it. He loves me for it. I'm happy to have found someone who loves me for me, but also loves the way that I love me. And I share this story because oftentimes we work so hard to find scraps of love and validation from everyone and everything else outside of ourselves when what we were searching for was quite literally inside of us this entire time. The deepest love of our lives has and will always be within us. It's just a matter of finding our way back. This self-love and self-care journey isn't about finding new routines and habits that are going to miraculously fix you. It's about finding your way back and finding your way to unlocking the person that you have always been and are fighting so hard to be all along. And I'm happy to say that I love myself so freaking much. I might have my moments where I'm like, damn, girl, you're looking rough today. But overall, I love myself so much. And I think that is what makes everything around me so much more beautiful. And that is why the things that I wish and I hope and I pray for come to fruition and appear in my life in abundance. Might not always be the way I want it to look. It might not be at the exact time that I want it to be. But I definitely think that that has been the catalyst for how my life has transformed itself. And I pray that you locking in and finding that love for you and that deep, unwavering commitment to you and your needs, I pray that that is your guiding light. And I pray that that brings you so much joy and fulfillment. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of Meanwhile She. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe and leave a comment. New guest episodes drop every Tuesday and new solo episodes drop every other Thursday. Until next time.